Okay, right now we're going to talk about how to create a note card using Noodletools. So I am going to have a couple tabs open. I'm going to have my Noodletools tab open, but I'm also going to have my JSTOR tab open. So if I were to show you guys what that looks like on my screen, that looks like I have Noodletools, and then I also have JSTOR. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, under Noodletools, I'm going to click on Bibliography. And I'm going to get ready to create a bibliography entry or citation entry for a journal because I'm going to be searching on JSTOR, and JSTOR only has journals. So I'm going to click Continue, and I'm ready. A second. I'm ready to put in some information about the journal article that I'm looking at. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to JSTOR, and I am going to go ahead and look at a journal that I found. And remember, when I'm searching in JSTOR, let's go through again. Let's just start from home here. When I go to my JSTOR account, I'm going to make sure I go into the advanced search. And I'm going to have to play around with this. This might not work the first time. Sometimes I have to search multiple different things to try and find what I'm looking for. So let's just say I am searching women and World War I, and I'm looking for nurses, women nurses in World War I. I'm going to narrow my topic by articles, and then I can go down and narrow by discipline. So I can click on something like maybe feminist and women's studies. That might make sense. And definitely history. Okay, and then I go ahead and I click on search, and I'm not sure what exactly will happen here. Okay. So I see a few things. I see interviewing women conscientious objectors. I don't really think that'll fit for me. The feelings that fill my heart. Japanese Canadian women's memories of internment. No. Revises the war in the 30s. Well, that's not the correct time period, but here we go. In the Gray Battalion, Launceston General Hospital nurses on active service during World War I. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and click on View in PDF. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down a little and just kind of review the article. Like I can generally go to about the first page and I get what's called the abstract. And the abstract's usually written in about a paragraph, and it's usually italicized, and that's where I can see what this journal article is going to be about. So if I read it, it says nearly 50 nurses served during World War I. They worked in various roles. They had a lack of hospital necessities. Their experience reflected the skills and roles needed to be a military nurse at the time. Beautiful. This looks like a perfect article that's going to yield a lot of information for me about being a woman nurse during World War I. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go back to my Noodletools page, and I'm going to go ahead and start filling in my my information here. So I'm going to just kind of go back and forth. So the name, the name of the author is Kirsty Harris. Her first name is Kirsty Harris. The article title I'm going to go ahead and put in the article title, etc., etc. Let's see. The article title is "In the Gray Battalion, Launceston General Hospital Nurses on Active Service in World War I." So I'm going to go ahead and just type all of that information in. Once I do that, I'm going to click on Submit, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually have a citation for this particular article. Okay, so now I've created my my citation, and so what I'm ready to do now is, because I've created the citation, I can now create a note card. And my note card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on note card, and what my note card does is it helps me keep track of my research by making sure that I am organizing my research in a really thoughtful way. And this is so helpful, you guys. These note cards, basically, if they're done really well, they can basically turn into your outline. I've seen this happen with students time and time again, and I really encourage you to put 100% effort into this, because it really will help you when you're creating an outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look back at the article, and I'm going to think about what the title for my note card could be. And I think for this one, my title, I'm going to probably create a few note cards for this article. So I think maybe I'll talk about, oh perfect, I'll talk about their training. So this is a short phrase that will remind me of the content of this article. And say I read through the article and I find that they had to face 4 years of training, and what else? Oh, cool, picture. So the women had to face, I just typed, like, I kind of talk, I directly quote a piece from the article. So I'd have the article up, and I'm kind of, let's see, looking at both of these pages at the same time, and I'm directly quoting what it says. So hospitals, registered, training school. And because, for the sake of time, that's all I'm gonna do for now. But I would probably put a good paragraph or two in the direct quote. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign a source to it. So again, if I've done the citation first, the citation will come up when I click on the arrow. So I'll make sure that I've assigned it to the correct source. I'll make sure I put the correct page down. That is super important. And this is kind of like hashtags. Actually, it is exactly hashtags. So I can just start creating some hashtags. I haven't really found that particularly useful, so for now you just might want to think about if that would be useful for you. This next part, the paraphrase or summary, is really important that you do this, because if you do this, you can actually use it in your paper, because you're going to want to avoid using too many direct quotes. So for you to take what you put in the direct quotation and paraphrase or summarize it in your own words is going to be really important, because you can end up using this section in your paper, which is a very exciting thing. So you're actually kind of working through your paper right now. If you actually paraphrase or summarize what this source says, some students find that they end up using a lot of this section in their paper. Under the My Ideas section, you're going to want to think about, what other questions do I have now that I've read this source? Where do I go now? What do I research next? Does this source help me figure out a connection that I didn't have before. There's a lot of different things you can put under my ideas. Like, how will this source be useful as I move forward with my research? The most important thing you need to do is you need to click save. And what will happen is the little note card will be in this little box, and you can drag it out to your tabletop. Okay? When you create another note card, say you create another note card from the same source, so now the next thing is, your first note card you made was about training, this one's about experience, and say you type in this section and this section and the bottom section, and you save it, what you can do is you can actually pile the note cards together, and this pile title can be training and experience. And that way you can start organizing your note cards into piles based on what the topics are about or based on how it's going to help you with your paper. So it's really important that this process is done not just to do it, right? We're not just trying to get 5 note cards because Miss Moylan said 5 note cards are due. We're trying to do this so that when we go to create our outline, we're just dragging note cards over and we're creating an outline for our paper. And I can't tell you how this is just makes it so much easier when you are able to just have a bunch of piles and you can just drag your note cards over and you've created an outline. And if that doesn't make sense to you right now, that's okay. I just want you to kind of know that down the line that's what you'll be doing. Alright? Thanks so much for tuning in to Noodle